there, Maverick Currency Traders. This is Rob Reinhold, and here we are, November 8, 2023. Let's jump into it. In this session, we're going to go over what happened today. We're going to take a look at the equity markets, the commodity markets, and then we're going to rescore everything. What happened? What were some of the scoring changes? We're going to find out what is the strongest and the weakest currency, and then, as always, we're going to pair them together and look for actual setups in both crypto and in the Forex market.
Disclaimer. This video was created for professional Forex and crypto traders. Maverick Currencies is a proprietary trading firm that employs professional traders around the world. Our traders trade firm capital and keep 70 to 80% of profits they generate. All trades and analysis in this video are for professional traders only. If you are interested in becoming a professional Forex and currency trader for Maverick, click the Apply button in the video description. Let's break down what happened today.
The market had a little bit of a pause here. So this is where we were 24 hours ago. We had strong Bitcoin and Bitcoin Cash, dollar, euro, and Swiss franc were the strongest. And the weakest currencies, Aussie, followed by Kiwi CAD and the pound. The question is, did that change? So if we take a look at what happened today, let's first jump into the news of the day. We are not in a big news cycle right here this week. We'll take a look at the calendar, and you'll see there's very little on the calendar this week. We did get some CPI data out of New Zealand. It was a little bit lower than expected. So we did see the Kiwi pull back a little bit more, and really we saw a big pause in the equity markets. We have had a huge rally last week. I want to say this is like 9 days in a row the stock market has been up. But if you take a look at the candles, which we'll take a look at the S&P chart, all the candles are getting much, much smaller. We are definitely running out of gas. It is time for a pause, a pullback, something. Will we get it? Who knows? But the market definitely is looking a little tired here after a big run. Jumping into the Forex market, remember we had the dollar, Swiss franc, and the euro going into 24 hours ago as the strongest currencies, and they stayed the strongest currencies. We had the Aussie and the Kiwi as the weakest currencies, and guess what? They have stayed the weakest currencies. As a trader, the question is always, is it continuation of the pattern or is it a reversal of the pattern? Obviously, over the last 24 hours, it was continuation of the strength. So we are going to ask the same question over the next 24 hours. Are we going to get a continuation of what we've seen with strong dollar, strong Swiss franc, strong euro, and weak Aussie, or is that going to reverse? We'll take a look at it. We'll definitely get into it. The rest of the market is, again, really flat across the board. S&P, the world index, gold, all pretty much flat. Crypto up 0.78. That's basically flat for crypto. And you can see oil has come down quite a bit. We're now back into the $70 area of oil. So that is good for oil consumers, not so great for oil investors. But, we'll take a gift. In the crypto market, Bitcoin continues to be the stellar outperformer, but look, this is 1.3%. That's a very small move for Bitcoin. This is mostly just a flat market. So let's jump into the market and see, do we have a change in equity markets? Let's take a look at this chart. And this is what I was talking about. Look at these big, huge candles on the run up. Big candles, big expanded range candles. And you can see we're now just running out of a little gas. That being said, we are not pulling back. And take a look at the long lower shadow on today's. I'm telling you, this market, I don't think it is going to pull back. This is the kind of price action you get when it wants to continue. I could easily see a breakout candle over the next day or two to the upside. If I could write the script for the market, which I haven't been able to do that yet, but if I could write the script for the market, what I would love is I would love for there to be a pullback here. I would love to get a little pullback or a longer base. Where we hold up above this 50-period moving average, give the market time to take a breath, and then break out. If I could write the script, that would be what I want to happen. Here's the problem. The market doesn't have to listen to me. We could break out anytime. We could roll over and die for all we know. But the fact that we are up above the 50-period moving average and holding it, I have now flipped from bearish to mildly bullish. However, I want to see a breakout of this resistance level, a breakout of that resistance level, and I'm now allowed to get a little bit more bullish on my outlook. So equities telling me that there's likely to be a continuation of risk on. If we go into the calendar, there's really not anything of any importance here. Probably the biggest thing I could talk about is China CPI and PPI tonight. As you can see, they're not really great numbers. They're in deflation. The rest of the world is worried about inflation. China's worried about deflation. I can't imagine this number is going to do anything to make anyone worry. Tomorrow we get some Fed speak, and that's really about it. So let's go in and take a look at some of the currencies that moved today. And again, the question is the strength going to continue or is it going to reverse? I want to take a look at dollar because dollar is a big story here. And the dollar has, again, this is a daily chart. So you can see here the dollar reached that high, pulled back. We're having a rally right up to this moving average. Look, the dollar here is right in the middle. If it turns over, it could be a decent short. If it breaks above, it could be a decent long. I'm looking at dollar saying, you know what, I might as well flip a coin. This does look more like a bear rally to me than anything. But is the dollar the best thing to go long? No. Is it the best thing to go short? No. So we also had strength in Swiss franc. So here's the daily chart on the Swiss franc. Had a big pullback. We're having a nice bounce. There's no question we're having a nice bounce. But this isn't breaking out of any major ranges. It is just kind of just going sideways overall. So the other currency that we said was strong was euro. And looky here. We've got something that's exciting. Something that's actually breaking out of a range and moving to higher levels. So looking at dollar, Swiss franc, and euro, there's no question that the euro is the best trade here over the next 24 hours on the long side. Now again, this is if euro strength continues and if the equity markets continue to pull back. Pulling back in the markets is actually helping euro, Swiss franc, and dollar. If these markets break out to the upside, that is not the case. So we've found out where is the best long. The question is, where's the best short? Well, the Aussie has been the weakest here. This is a daily chart. As you can see here, the Aussie is pulling back to a real strong area of support. I don't love to short things when they've pulled back after making a new high to a support level. This could technically be a very good entry place for a long Aussie trade. Now let's talk about it. If this equity market does break out over the next day or two, this will absolutely help the Aussie. And the Aussie is in a very good place for a technical pullback. Is it ready to trade right now? Absolutely not. It is still headed lower. And we don't have anything telling us it is bouncing here. But if equities turn around, if equities move substantially higher from here, the Aussie on a daily chart looks really intriguing for long. But remember, the question is continuation or reversal. This is a reversal, and we don't see that yet. We also have the Kiwi. The Kiwi is also in a pullback. The Kiwi's chart isn't as good as the Aussie. It hasn't broken out of the last couple of resistance levels. So I'm going to basically stick with Aussie. I want to go long Aussie, but I can't yet. I definitely don't want to go short Aussie. I don't really want to go short Kiwi. So what's the question is, what do I want to short? Hello, yen. Yen looks great on the short side. Look at this. Broke down. We're low basing here. It's just a matter of when do we break down? When do we break down on yen? Now let's talk about it. The yen is likely to do a little bit better when equity markets are under duress. So over the last 2 days, the markets have slowed down a little bit. And you can see the yen has stopped falling. When the markets were cranking higher, look what happened to the yen. So if the markets crank higher, we should see a breakdown in the yen. So again, this is a reversal call. I'm looking at these markets saying right here, right now, euro, dollar, and Swiss franc are strong. And if the equity markets don't go up, I really want to be long euro. But if equity markets take off, I've got two currencies that are primed, yen to fall and the Aussie to bounce. So That's really where I'm going to be hunting here for a reversal. So I'm going to go through one reversal, and we're also going to go through one continuation trade. This is where we were 24 hours ago. We don't have a lot of changes. We do have the Kiwi and the yen have weakened a little bit. The CAD and the pound have grown a little bit. As you can see here, this is what we're looking at right here at this moment. I'm going to be taking a look at two trades here. One of the trades is a continuation, meaning the equity markets don't break out and the euro keeps stronger. And I'm going to pair that up against probably the Kiwi or the yen. And then we're going to take a look at a reversal trade. A reversal trade where if the equity markets go higher substantially, I really like Aussie yen. So we're going to take a look at those two. Euro Kiwi on the long side for continuation and Aussie yen for reversal.
Do you want to be a professional trader? Maverick Currencies is the oldest US-based Forex and crypto prop trading company that will pay you for trading with our capital. Trade our capital and keep 70 to 80% of the profits. We are looking for traders just like you that are hardworking and motivated. Click the apply link on the top right of this video to see if you have what it takes. That link takes you to a 4-minute video that explains the trader position available, and you read a list of FAQs that answer pretty much all the basic questions you have at this point. After watching the video and reading the FAQs, if you're interested, fill out an application, then you'll watch the full-length recruiting video, and then schedule an interview with one of our traders. Are you our next trader?
Let's first start off with continuation. Now we could go euro-yen. We easily could go euro-yen, but this here is euro-kiwi. As you can see here, we pull back. We've had this little bounce. We're up probably closer to the top end of this range. I don't like this trade here. I need a pullback or a base. So the continuation trade on euro-kiwi is not one that fits my technical setups. Euro-yen, however, is. It absolutely is breaking out of about a 3-day base here. I want to buy this pullback. Whatever's happening here, again, it stopped going up, pullback or a base, I want to be a buyer. So Euro Kiwi, not for me. Euro Yen, I definitely like it here. And this is one that could benefit from a risk on or a risk off move. The euro has stayed strong while the market pauses. This one could definitely work. But the big trade, look, Euro Yen will be a decent trade. But this is one of those if you catch it when it happens. We have had the Aussie that has been a huge winner and had a big pullback this week. We've had a yen that's been the worst loser, but because the market's paused a little bit, it's done a little pause. If the equity markets break out to the upside, break out of resistance and have a 1%, 2% up week, this is the trade. Aussie yen to the long side. Here's the problem. I'm looking at this chart saying, I don't really know where this entry is here because for the most part, we are basing, and frankly, we are in jeopardy of breaking through the bottom of this base. If we break through the bottom of this base, then all of a sudden I can no longer call this a high base. I have to call it more of a pullback, and we're going to be likely to pull back all the way to the 96 area. Where at that point, I don't love the trade as much. So the trade has to hold here at 96.50. If it holds here and it can move up, yes, you could take a look at going long at 96.80, 96.90, fully knowing that there is overhead resistance at 97.50. But if the equity markets do break out, we should break out of that level. So at this point, way too early. We got all the momentum going against us at the moment. We got red candles, we got sloping moving averages. We don't want to buy here. We don't want to step in front of this bus. But if it holds here, turns around, I think along somewhere in the 96.80, 97 area, again, hoping that it breaks out. If it doesn't, do your trade management. We all know what to do. But I think those are the setups here. So Euro Yen looks decent and I think could work in either market condition. But I don't think that's a big trade. I think that's a 30, 40, 50 pip trade max. This one, however, this could be a 100 pip trade if we get that move, but I think it's less likely to happen. So hopefully that makes some sense. Over the next 24 hours, no big news on the horizon. Don't expect there to be some big moves unless that premise of markets breaking out, running 1 or 2%, that Aussie pullback being rewarded, and that yen finally falling again. I think that's the big trade. That's the one I'm hunting for. I'm not really looking for, euro yen for 30 pips. That one just doesn't interest me. So I'm definitely on hold, waiting for that to happen. But I am definitely going to be watching Aussie yen here over the next 24 hours. Thank you for joining me. That is the currency recap. Goodbye, everyone.